A lot of people have really started to be critical of 49ers quarterback Brock Purdy after he went for the pretty much majority of the start of his career without a loss, but has lost three in a row and has had some pretty unfortunate looking picks throughout that time. And so a lot of people who have either been waiting for the fall off have jumped all over it and of course are being ultra critical, ultra negative because they've just been waiting for it. Or two, people are starting to get concerned about Brock Purdy. Well, is this who he really is? What is going on with the 49ers quarterback who played so well to start and has had some rough patches over the last 3 weeks? Well, Kyle Shanahan went on KNBR to address the notion of how he feels about Brock Purdy, how internally they view Brock, and what the expectation is moving forward. Take a listen to what Kyle Shanahan had to say about Brock Purdy right here.
It's so funny. The quarterback position, coach, I mean, as you well know, is so scrutinized that a few bad games and people want different people to play the position. Look, I think Brock's played fantastic. I really do. But the picks were a little concerning. What one was most concerning last week to you? Because the one to Wilson, obviously, you didn't see him. The other one, as you described it, other players described it, he couldn't throw it anyway. And even if he threw it, the best that you could hope for was a 5-yard penalty coming back because the legal man downfield. Does that show any sign of maybe a little bit frazzled, or he wasn't thinking it out when that's because that one I was like, wow, you couldn't even do that if you wanted to, and he did it anyway. What did you take from that, and is there a bigger picture to that, or is that just kind of an isolated thing?
No, I mean, that was his biggest mistake because we need to hand the ball off there. We got to read on, and you're supposed to hand the ball off. If the DN closes, if he goes up the field, you shovel it underneath. And so he just missed that read, and then that's just experience. I've had guys, you go to throw a screen to someone, and there's someone on them, and they run around for a second, and then they throw it away. And then everyone's down the field, and they're like, oh, man, I can't do that. And then they learn. And I think that's what happened to Brock. He made a mistake at the beginning. He was scrambling, and he saw a guy wide open in the end zone. So he just reacted and threw to him. And it was going to be illegal guys downfield, which happens all the time on screens. And then you learn from it, don't do it again. Unfortunately, the guy made a hell of a play and picked it. But in terms of Brock, like, you're 100% right. Brock's been one of the reasons we've been in these games these last 2 weeks, and he has done some unbelievable stuff. But I also will say, when you're down some points and you got to get back into it, the quarterback's going to win it or lose it. That's part of the position because he's got to make some big time plays just to get us back in that. And I thought Brock made some big-time plays for Cincinnati. A number of them scrambling, a number of them with his throws, and he was one of the reasons that we got a chance to at least be within one score at the end. And he's one of the main reasons we believe we're going to be able to go down and score. And he made a rip. Brock lets it rip. And when guys let it rip, sometimes you can't pull it back when you do it too fast. And he did that one time in the game on that throw over the middle, and that was just a bad pick that he had. But by no means does this change how he's playing. He's made a couple mistakes at the end of the game, but if you watch that tape, just like you're saying how you think he's playing when you watch the game, you're dead right. He's playing at a very high level, but when you throw picks at the end, when you're down points, that ends the game right there. And that's why this was part of playing that position, and Brock is accountable for that. You should hear him talk to our team after the game. I mean, he's sick over those turnovers. I understand how they happen, and we don't want them to happen, but I can't tell you how much I believe in him.
What did you think about what Kyle Shanahan had to say about 49ers quarterback Brock Purdy, who is on the brink of playing a full season worth of games? And so he's still trying to get acclimated. He's still learning, just like all these players are. They have bumps and bruises along the way. I don't think it's fair to necessarily point directly to Brock Purdy as being this guy that just isn't it, because if you look across the entire roster, you have superstars after superstars not performing to the level that we've all expect from them. I mean, you could go down the list: Fred Warner, Nick Bosa, Brandon Ayuk has had a couple drops recently. So you know what I mean? It's like the whole team is kind of going through a rough patch, but obviously the quarterback is going to get singled out. He's going to get pointed out, and they're going to be like, see, we told you, Mr. Irrelevant, was not for real. That's their favorite go-to line about this quarterback who has won significantly more games than he's lost as a rookie. And I don't care what your situation is, that just doesn't happen like we've seen it with Brock. So having a little skid, Kyle Shanahan clearly supports his quarterback, and they're going to continue to act that way. And I think, this bye week is going to be good for the San Francisco 49ers to kind of circle the wagons, because you can see who's taking shots. You can see who was kind of just riding the wave because they had to. And then the second that we got a little turbulence, got a little bumpy, little rocky, boom, you see the switch. So we knew that was coming. We talked about it before Brock struggled, is that there was going to be people in the media, creators, whoever, who are just going to be riding the wave. And then the second you hit some turbulence, boom, see, we told you he's not for real. And so I imagine Brock Purdy and the San Francisco 49ers will eventually get back on track. And it's just going to be interesting to see where everyone currently stands as this current time has progressed, where Brock has had some struggles. But I'm in the camp that I do believe in Brock, and I do believe Brock Purdy can work through this and get better. A lot of the things that we've seen from a mistake standpoint are either mental or processing. So if he can, and we already know he's plays at a really high level in that regard. So if he can continue to work on that and get better at it, who's to say that he's not going to continue to get better and improve? So I'm not concerned yet. Obviously, if this continues for a consistent period of time, that will change. But as it stands right now, I see normal bumps and bruises along the way. And I think the 49ers internally see that as well. And they are not concerned really with the situation. Obviously, got to be better in certain situations. But if we're looking at the long view, I think Brock's doing okay. But you let me know what you think. Let me know what you thought about what Kyle said. Let me know what you think about the situation, and let me know in the comments below. And as always, make sure to like and subscribe for more updates.
Touchdown by Christian McCaffrey.